Hey guys, it's me Chan Dragon, and today I will do the build guide for Kazuha. Basically, I don't want to explain again the talent this time, so this is more about the build itself, the one that I update until 3.7, and basically not so much changed. Only probably I want to talk a little bit in terms of team combat, in terms of even the build like artifact, not so much though. So let's get started. As for Kazuha talent in here, I just explained very brief, very short, just because I already did this before in my old video. So if you want the detailed one, you can check my old video, because this is more into build video. So for elemental skill, Kazuha has two different form, which is press and hold. Basically they did the same thing. Kazuha will go into mid-air, pull the enemy, and after that you can decide to fly or can do plunging attack that deal animal damage though. The difference between this press and hold basically just matter of damage and cooldown. The press one is only weaker and hold is stronger but higher cooldown though. They still both can do the swirl to the enemy, press and hold, so you should not worry though. And in here the elemental burst, basically like Kazuha will summon the whirlwind that can deal AoE and MO damage, and of course they can interact with kind of other element. If you interact with hydro, you will see the whirlwind will turn into blue and so on though. And in here basically the passive, if you do the Chihayaburu and interact with any element, or you do the swirl, your Chihayaburu plunging attack will kind of become stronger. And in here, if you trigger swirl reaction, it can increase elemental damage bonus to your entire party, including to Kazuha, and the scaling is 0.04% per elemental mastery from Kazuha. So let's say you have 1000 EM, then you can get like 40% increase your elemental damage bonus though for 8 seconds though. As for weapon section for Kazuha, basically in terms of 5-star weapon for Kazuha, nothing much that changed. The only one that I think the best is Freedom Sworn and none the other else. Yeah, some of you maybe if you go for crit reel, you can go for Mid Splitter, Harangepaku, or the Light Foliar Incation, the one that for Alhaitham, but I still don't prefer for this. I still feel the best weapon for Kazuha is only Freedom Sworn for S4 5-star. And for the 4-star weapon for Kazuha, basically Kazuha can equip a lot of different 4-star weapon. I will start first with the one that's very accessible, because to Kabushi Buksigure, because this one is EM, pretty much Kazuha benefit, and you can get this one for free from last couple patch of the event, and you can even make R5. This one also very useful. Other than that, Iron Sting, still the general build, the old classic build for free to play, still very good, because it gives you elemental mastery and the effect also good. If you want to make R5, then sure, you can go do that. Other than that, you can go with C4's Moonlight. This is also very good because it gives you EM, and also you can get more energy and can buff your entire party. But take notes, this is not free. You have to get luck in your gacha and only in the weapon banner though. And other than that, Alley Flash also work for your Kazuha, but again, this is from gacha, so if you have luck, then you can equip this. But this one also good, it gives you EM and increased damage bonus from your Kazuha itself though. And for the artifact sets for Kazuha, basically nothing changed at all. The best one, of course, for the 4th piece is the Viridescent Banner, because the 2 piece gives you animal damage bonus by 15%. 4 piece is the one that you really want to get, which is increased swirl damage by 60%, decreased opponent elemental resistant element infused in swirl by 40% for 10 seconds. This is actually very good for Kazuha and not changed until right now, so that's why I really suggest for you to prioritize to get the 4 piece, just because the effect just too good though. But if you kinda still a new player and don't have any solid 4 sets, there's still one more that's actually very good for Kazuha, which is 4 piece of Instructor. Just because this is more accessible, you can get even only in 4-star you can get, and 2 piece give you elemental mastery, useful for Kazuha, and the 4 piece still useful for Kazuha, because if you trigger an elemental reaction, increase the elemental mastery by 120 for all entire party, which is actually very good though for Kazuha as a support though. That's why I really recommend, if you still don't have a good 4 piece Viridescent, just go for this for the 4 piece. And there's also another like alternative sets like 2 piece version, but I still suggest for you, even though you don't have 4 piece Viridescent, just go for Instructor, just because that's very good for your Kazuha though. But if you really want the 2 piece style, then you can go like combination within 2 piece Viridescent, or 2 piece like Wanderer, or 2 piece Gilded, or 2 piece from the Paradise Lost also can work. that's like between those combination of those. So in here, before I jump the artifact mindset for Kazuha, I'll answer a couple of never ending questions by the people that keep asking whenever we make like guide about Kazuha. They will ask like, which build should I go for Kazuha? Should I go for crit build or should I go for full EM for Kazuha? In the end, if you build properly your Kazuha, they're pretty much similar and there's no much different. They're just so similar, and I would say it's not even worth for you to kind of bother or overthinking though if you build properly though. So in the end, it just matter of your preferences, which one you like more, which one you feel more satisfying. In here, my best job is just to give you more idea why you should go EM or why you should go for crit build for your Kazuha. So first, why you should go for full EM for your Kazuha. If you want to make your Kazuha as a full support, or the one that you want your Kazuha is to buff like another your character. Let's say you want to buff your Yae, then yeah, I suggest for you to give your Kazuha as a full EM because you prioritize your Yae, you want to make your Yae become strong, right? Then yeah, go for full EM. But if you decide to go for crit build for Kazuha, that means you want your Kazuha personal damage to become higher though. So that means you'll less prioritize buffing the enemy, you want your own Kazuha personal damage to become high. Let's say his anemo damage though to become high, like from the plunging attack, something like that. Then go for crit Kazuha though. That means you care more about your Kazuha. So to put simple, like if you care more about your another character, you want your another character to become strong, then go for full EM. If you care about your Kazuha, then just go for crit Kazuha. That means you want his personal damage to become higher though. Because in the end of the day, it's just like matter of damage distribution. If you make it crit, the damage distribution more into your Kazuha, but if you make like kinda full EM, that means your damage distribution will be more kinda evenly spread to your other character. But in the end of the result, the damage output pretty much around the same, and that's only matter of preference. But if you still have hard time also to choose, just one more tips, which just go with whatever that have superior substats. Let's say your full EM build have a better overall substats, then go for full EM builds though, because your substat can really contribute a lot. But let's say your crit have a more superior substat than your EM, then just go for crit build for your Kazuha though. And the last one, I'll try to answer if people ask me how many EM that actually Kazuha need, or is there any maximum number of elemental mastery that you need to put for Kazuha. Basically, there's no such a kind of formal answer where like how many that actually you need for Kazuha and is there any maximum number, because it's kind of different in Nahida that in their kit that state if you want to get a maximum buff, it has like the cap until like 250, which is 1000 EM. But you can take that as also as a good reference, because usually most of the average character that if you build like for EM build, usually you'll kind of put at the limit at 1000 EM, just because like I think that's a good reasonable number and pretty much kinda makes sense to achieve. And I also read there's a topic before that I cannot find anymore. I really want to find it, but basically the effectiveness of the elemental mastery after 1000 EM is kinda decreasing, so it's just the best to say at 1000 EM and the rest is just invest in crit though. So yeah, for my version of my Kazuha, like in terms how many EM that actually you need, it actually depends for what is your build. If you're going for crit build, 400 to 500 EM it's already good, but if you want to become a full EM build, then just go twice, which is either like around 800 until 1000 though. Okay, now let's jump into artifact mindsets for Kazuha. Basically it's depend on what you need. If you want to plan to go for full EM, it's very simple then. That means everything in EM, right? That means in sense is EM, your goblet also EM, and even your shieldlet is EM though, or elemental mastery. But if you decide to going for crit, then in your goblet you can either choose elemental mastery or anemo damage bonus also can, but it's actually EM still better. And for your sense is of course EM, and then in here just crit kind of shieldlet, depends what you need. If you need more crit rate, then crit rate. If you need more crit damage, then go mage. For the artifact subsets, there's a couple of them that you should prioritize. For sure, the first one is either crit rate, crit damage, or elemental mastery. It depends what you equip on your sense goblet or your circlet. So that's the priority. And second priority is energy recharge, and third is attack percentage if you want. Now let's talk about Kazuha Constellation. Basically, Kazuha Constellation still kind of okay, but I feel it's kind of already dropped off because Dendro come. But there's a couple of them that we can talk now. Let's talk about C1. C1 basically it's relatively good just because it decreases your elemental skill cooldown by 10%, and also after you use burst, your elemental skill cooldowns basically just reset. This is quite good though for your quality of life and get more energy and can do the skill more often, which is I feel like it. That's why I pull. And see too, this is why I feel the Constellation kind of drop off, and I feel people right now offer hype and hope for sale though. Which is after you use your Kazuha Slash or your elemental burst, you can get like two different effects though. First effect, it is you can increase your elemental mastery from your Kazuha by 200, or you can get your elemental mastery increased by 200 for the character that inside the burst though. But take notes, this elemental mastery increase is not stacked. That means you will not get 400 though. You can only get 200 in here, which is, it looks very good, right? You get 200 elemental mastery, but think again, this have restriction where it can only work in the burst. And if you feel right now which kind of effect that have similar effect that only can get in C0 even without any controller, which is Nahida. So if you already have Nahida, it can provide the same one and even higher in EM if I'm around 250. So Nahida can provide that without any consolation. And if you have like the character that can work with Dendro, that means you just put Nahida. You don't need Kazuha if you want to get this kind of EM though. That's why this Constellation only good right now for kind of freeze or vaporize or non-Dendro reaction though. But other than that, it's pretty much not as useful anymore because Nahida can provide that though. And in here it's pretty much increase the skill, and here C4 is pretty much just energy regeneration that I feel is not so great because I feel Kazuha don't really have energy problem, at least for me, and that's why I feel this is kind of not really that useful. But of course it's just more comfy, I guess, if you really want. C5 is just another upgrade, and C6 Kazuha, basically this is just enable Kazuha to become more main DPS or on-field character, which is after you use your HoYoLAB or elemental skill or elemental burst, Kazuha will get Anemo Infusion. And Anemo Infusion can work, it's not only in plunging but any normal charge attack. Basically Kazuha can just deal Anemo damage like frequently that base of elemental mastery. In here looks very good, right? But if you just want to use your Kazuha as a kinda support and whatever it is, then pretty much it's just kinda useless unless you really love your Kazuha to become like main DPS on field. Then yeah, this will be useful, but other than that it's pretty much not useful as a buffer. So my suggestion for Kazuha is either you don't pull any Constellation if you want maybe a little bit C1, or yeah, if you really like non-Dendro reaction and C2, although I feel it's not really that important anymore. Or if you really want your Kazuha to become more main on-field, then go for C6. But usually I either just prefer to stop either from C1 or C2. So now we move to the team comp, which is basically Kazuha can fit in almost single team though. Even with whatever like the worst condition, Kazuha can work, unless maybe Jioren, that will not works. So this one I'll just maybe highlight couple of like the one that famous for Kazuha and the one that I think personal preference from me though. I'll start first with the one that have Dendro related, which is the Air Fryer team. This is not supposed to be the true Air Fryer because I don't have Fenty though. So in here the main gimmick is that you want to trigger the burn like as long as you can. So you trigger from Nahida Trikarma, then Bennett do the burn, then you swirl using Kazuha, and you suck using Fenty, but I don't have Fenty, so I usually use Sucrose as a substitution. Other than that, you can go for aggravate team like this, like Slayai or Fischl in here, and put Nahida also can if you like, or you want like another like Kole, Kazuha in here, and yeah, you can always change with Cookie or Fischl if you like also. But I always prefer Yaoyao in here just because I like more Yae. Other than that, also you can play in Hutao team with Kazuha, which is Hutao, Zhongli, Shincho, and Kazuha in here. Basically, Kazuha job to just buff more into both of their damage though. And also another one is a classic international team, which is Child, Kazuha, Xiangling, and Bennett in here. This is still very good from the old, that works still very great. And other than that, you can go for Taser lookalike team, which is can be Fischl also or Beidou stuff. And Shincho in here, Kazuha. You can put like Kokomi also, you can change with another Electro if you want to become like double Electro in here also. But yeah, this is kind of Taser-like team. Kazuha always kind of buff both of their damage. And then after that, we can call Fridge team, where it's kind of combination between Fridge and Bloom team, which yeah, this is kind of quite latest that we get when Dendro come, which is Ayaka. Sometimes you can put Kaya in here, but I don't have a proper build Kaya. So if you have a proper build Kaya, you can use Kaya though in here. So Ayaka or Kaya, Kazuha, Nahida, and Shincho. Shincho can always change with Kokomi if you like, also if you feel you need healer in here. But Shincho also can be a good like kind of healer, although not really optimized. But yeah, if you cannot survive, you can pull other healer in there. And other than that, signatures here are like freeze team from Ayaka, which is Ayaka, Shenhe, Kazuha, and Kokomi. This is premium team, but if you can make it this is actually very strong team also though. Basically, Kazuha just buff the cryo damage and becomes insane. So yeah, that's pretty much just it though for Kazuha build video. Basically, there's no much change in terms of build. The artifact is still the same. The one that only different is team comp though. But other than that, yeah, he's still a very solid character, very useful even though Dendro already come. Maybe fellow volatile, but still very solid though. So yeah, enjoy this viral guys. If you like this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button and like, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.
風の行く先を風の雲の行くごと知識あなたに律令直風を知れ律令振動の権限呪言律令呪言